Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com and ProWrestling.me proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got 2/3 of the Coco crew here holding it down live. Of course, you got me, all you bastards who ratted me out to Coco, sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. Boom, boom, here, second room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there way across the pond there in England, the saucy tart himself, LK, at the PWME UK headquarters. Good to see you again, sir.
You too. It would be a Wednesday night / Thursday morning, wherever the fuck you are in the world. It wouldn't be that without your weekly NXT review with your main man LK and your main man Booms. Let's get rocking and rolling.
Yeah, okay, man. Well, NXT in the books here. This came from the CTE Arena at the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida, who, might I add here, their football team, the Golden Knights, did not win a football game for the entire 2015 season. In fact, they were tied neck and neck with the University of Kansas as one of the worst football teams in all of college football. But the thing that separates the Golden Knights from like the Jayhawks here is that there is a bar. It was either a bar or a restaurant in town that said they would give away free beer until the Golden Knights finally won a ball game, and they're still giving away free booze. So I just figured I'd drop that in there. But it was good to see them out of Full Sail University for a change. I like the crowd. I like the look of it. Now, the show itself, now I got to ask you, win, loss, or tie, sir? Win, loss, or tie?
I'm giving it a tie. That's a generous tie. I really didn't. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. I'm going to be honest.
You know, honestly, I don't blame you. I give it a tie as well. I felt like it was like a Twinkie at first. It was all fluff and filler. But as the show, but the main event, in my opinion, is what completely just saved that entire show. I absolutely love the main event, so that's why I'm giving it a tie, because boom, there it is. I mean, it wasn't horrible by any standards, but it definitely was not their best show. But let's delve into it here. First match out the gate, we have Baron Corbin versus Johnny Gargano. I think this was a pretty decent match. They gave this match more time than what I thought they were going to give it. Gargano started to make a comeback. I love that super kick that he connected right on Corbin's fucking jaw. The crowd was starting to get into it, and they went back in the ring, but he ate an end of days. Baron Corbin gets the win. And here's one thing that bothers me about Corbin. For one, I know I've been saying this till I'm blue in the face. Hire Johnny Gargano. Just go ahead and do it. Just please do that. But with Baron Corbin, this is the thing that doesn't make any sense. I understand he's a heel, he's a bad guy, and he does bad things, but even I can't even figure out by even how his own logic works. When he was in that triple threat match with Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe, the question is, whose submission hold did he tap out to? Did he tap out to Zayn's sharpshooter? Did he tap out to Samoa Joe's crossface? And, it put a lot of pressure on William Regal. So guess what? Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn are going to have to go, one-on-one to determine the new number one contender for the NXT championship. But somehow Baron Corbin feels like he belongs to that mix. And I'm like, by what standard? I mean, there's no twisted logic to this. It's just like, well, I should be in the match. Well, why? Just because I'm a heel, get it? Just to me, that's the only thing that he does right now that it's not making any sense to me.
Yeah, I wasn't. Here's a funny story. So this was the same night as Evolve 52. I think it was either 52, 53. No, it's Evolve 53, if I remember right. It was the first night of the triple shot at the weekend. And Johnny Gargano was scheduled for Evolve. And he was also doing this was on at the same night as this TV taping, okay? Mm-hmm. So Johnny Gargano had to do the opener, drive from that building to the Evolve building. He then did an Evolve match where he tagged with Drew Galloway to face, I think it might have been Team Tremendous or some people. I can't remember. Go check out my review of that on the archives. And it was just, I was there like, holy shit, the amount of money that man must have made that night. Like, he made WWE money. He also made Evolve money. And the reason why they haven't signed Johnny Gargano is obviously the partnership that NXT has with WN Live. I think they want to keep that. So I think Gargano is the face of WN Live. So they want to keep Johnny Gargano with WN Live but he also will be on NXT. So unless WN Live build their next star, I think we're generally going to keep it as Johnny Gargano in NXT as a... I don't like using the term because they've protected him in his defeats, but he's still defeated quite a bit.
Yeah, he's. I don't want to say he's quite hit jobber status yet, but it's not. His record isn't looking very stellar. I think the only match he won was that opening tag bout him when Tommaso Ciampa won in the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Speaking of painful tag team matches here, your favorite tag team, the Hype Bros, took on Corey Hollis and John Schuyler in a squash match. The Hype Bros kept screaming the entire match. I desperately wanted to hit mute on my computer because I was tired of them screaming. I'm not feeling the hype. I do like how, unlike over on the main roster, they hype up. Here at NXT, wins and losses matter, and they did make a big deal that when they lost against the Vaudevillains, that was their first loss as a tag team. So I kind of like that they're keeping track of the wins and the losses and why things are a big deal. And, it's like, wow, they're coming off their first loss ever. How are they going to rebound from it? And they, did what they needed to do. They needed to go out and have a win. But it was another squash match victory. Not much to it. So, just any thoughts on that, on the Hype Bros?
Zack Ryder still has a job. That upsets me. Zack Ryder's dating Emma. That upsets me. Zack Ryder's parents had sexual intercourse, which allowed Zack Ryder to be born. That upsets me. Mojo Rawley has a job. That upsets me. Mojo Rawley's gut. That upsets me. Hit the gym. You got the best fucking gym in the whole of the planet. Work out, dick. Mojo Rawley on Breaking Ground annoys me. The way how these two local independent talents weren't really name recognized. That annoyed me. They got fuck all offense in. That annoyed me. Zack Ryder won a wrestling match. That annoyed me. I could go on and on all day, Booms, if you really want me to. But no, I had no interest in this match. The minute I heard the fucking awful entrance music and Mojo Rawley shouting that he ain't hyped makes me want to slap him. And, I get it. He's having fun. Good for him. He's going out there. He's having fun. He's having a great time. He's been really energetic. He hurts my head. He runs around that much. I get tired watching him. I get tired watching him jump around all the time. And it's just, he frustrates me a lot. I have no time for Mojo Rawley. I have no time for Zack Ryder. I felt sorry for the two independent guys who had to work with them. That being said, let's go on to the next segment before I commit suicide.
All right. We'll go to the next segment here. We had heel-on-heel action, if you can believe it, and not to mention just heel-on-heel, but a little girl-on-girl action. Referencing some stuff from the other week. Alexa Bliss defeated Cameron. Cameron, she's not good.
Speaking of still having jobs, we have Cameron.
WWE kind of lied to us because, or at least Cameron said at one point that she wasn't going down to NXT to wrestle, to go on air to wrestle. She was just going to go down to the Performance Center, train down there, polish her game, and then come back up to the main roster. They've put her out 2 times now. No, I think 2 or 3 now, because I think there was one other incident before the over-the-top battle royal. I think it was, because it was the 3rd time, I think. Anyway, she botched the battle royal. She botched her interview at the battle royal. And then she came out here. She botched a couple of moves bad, and the crowd just ate her up for it. Alexa Bliss, I don't know if that was just her acting or she was legitly fucking pissed at Cameron, but it really came across. She was just on a fucking mean streak. She got the win with a sparkle splash. Alexa Bliss, I guess they're building her back up, trying to get her back in the hunt for the NXT Women's Championship. I will say this, Cameron, I did see a little bit of improvement, but I think she's, to be fair, okay, I want to say that a lot of this is not her fault, and let me explain why. A lot of people get run through NXT. They get, they have so much time off camera where they train them, and then they eventually start putting them on camera, and they put them on a little bit more. Then they become, more prominent on the show. I don't even think Cameron got a full year at NXT. I think maybe, and this is an example, maybe she got 8 months, if that. And before she became a fuckadactyl, they went ahead and brought her up. And then when they split up the Funkadactyls, she was exposed, so they went ahead and sent her down to NXT to get some training. So I kind of feel like WWE's partially to blame for her sucking, because they kind of set her up to fail from the get-go, and now it's okay. Now we've got to go back and fix things that we never taught her to begin with, and that we should have done in the first place, and put her in this position. But with that being said, I mean, yeah, there was some improvements, but she was still botching moves left and right. It did not look crisp. Alexa Bliss, I think she really sold for and did a pretty good job. I'm glad to see Alexa Bliss pick up the win. But your thoughts on Cameron's predicament here?
I just don't think she's trainable. I honestly do not think she's trainable. Like, she was on the main roster. She was wrestling every night of the week, pretty much, minus obviously Wednesday and Thursdays. And when you're wrestling, the caliber athletes of like Natalya, Naomi, AJ Lee at the time, they're great workers. You're going to learn stuff from them. And she's been doing this now for professionally since about 2012, 2013. That's 3 to 4 years of working with the best training facility in the world, and you still look as green as goose shit. I question the passion. I question the heart. I question, does she actually want to do this, or is she there to be famous on Total Divas? I have zero time for this woman, but Alexa Bliss is. I'll tell you what. I'm going to be honest with you, Booms. This is right down Rey Mysterio's alleyway, right? Rey Mysterio's going to be sat there rubbing his hands at this comment. I think I have a thing for Alexa Bliss, Booms, big time. It's short.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Short, blonde, ass of a god. But Booms, Alexa Bliss, if you're listening and you ever come to the UK tour again, I heard you're a ring rat. You can come be my rat, you dirty little skank. No, I'm joking. I love you, really. I'm sorry. I'll leave the whole comments when I talk about Cameron. Yeah, I just don't. The match, I think you were right about at the end when she was getting very angry and just started shouting at her. Because at the end of the day, Bliss has been training, hard to get where she is right now, and then for a main roster caliber talent to just come and ruin it for her. It should have been a big win, knocking off a former WWE main roster lady or woman, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And it wasn't, because she sucked ass so much. So Cameron, don't ruin my girl Alexa Bliss ever again, or I will slap you as well as her.
Yeah, and I think the sad thing is, didn't Bliss start about the same time as Cameron? Yes. Maybe just a few months later even?
Yes. The difference is, though, she was training. But you got to remember, though, Cameron, she was on the main roster. You can't beat training like in the actual ring itself. You're going to learn so much. So surely she should have picked up so much from all that time on the road. I remember in 2013, it was a house show in Bournemouth. Make that 2014. It was a house show. I think it was in Bournemouth at the BIC, the International. And I remember she was there. She had a match with Naomi, and she stunk the joint up. She stunk a house show joint up. When you stink a house show joint up, you shouldn't lace a pair of boots. And she comes out. She's not over. She comes out. She has no interest in the wrestling. She comes out. She bends over. She does the thing with her skirt to try and get her ass to show. No, it's not 1999. Showing your ass crack isn't going to get you over, love. Sorry, bitch.
Let's see. We had a preview, and this is what LK referred to as the hook, something to get us to watch next week. We're going to see an 8-man tag match. We're going to have American Alpha teaming up with Enzo and Big Cass to take on Dash and Dawson, along with Blake and Murphy. I think that was kind of a funny promo where American Alpha referencing like the Olympics, like this is a 2015, it's 2016, an Olympic year. You know what that means? Well, what does that mean? Well, okay, I guess what you're trying to imply is that it's going to be the year of American Alpha. Yeah. It's like, I think you just totally missed the mark. Oh no, see, he's deep. He's got layers. He's like, he totally. I just love that little banter. To me, I just thought it was freaking hilarious.
I agree. It's very entertaining.
Next, we had yet again another squash match. Elias Sampson beat Jesse Sorensen of TNA fame with that vicious neck breaker he had. Elias Sampson, apparently he's getting the Baron Corbin treatment. They're bringing him in. They're having him squash some local talents, some local independent or some smaller independent guys. But I will say, unlike Corbin, he's doing it in more than 60 seconds. So there's hope with that. Not much more I can say other than do you think they need to kind of keep Elias Sampson on this route for a little bit, have him keep squashing these these no-name talents, so to speak, and then maybe build up to some lower card guys, or or do you think it's time to move him to the lower card guys? Well, I mean, what do we do with him here? It's just kind of like, okay, you've got him. Okay, we know he's the drifter. We know he's got a mean streak. We know he likes to beat people up, but you got to show me something new.
I don't know, because I think what they're going for is he's not cutting any promos. He's not speaking. So I don't know if that's because that's one of his weaknesses, is that he can't cut a promo. We don't know, because obviously don't know what his training's like. But if that's the case, that automatically, cuts his legs off him. If he can't cut a promo, get a manager behind him. But I think a few more weeks, -month, -2 months of defeating the local talent. Don't like using the frame jobbers, but they are. And then start moving him up, but do it slowly. Don't rush the fucker. Like, start doing it slowly but surely. I don't see anything in this guy. I really try. I sat there watching it thinking, okay, what positives we got out of this guy? He has some pretty cool theme music. He has a guitar. He looks in good shape. He got that going for him. Apart from that, his in-ring ability is pretty limited from what I've seen of him. I mean, he hit a nice running knee. I think a nice neck breaker as well. I think that's about it. But again, we can't really judge the guy on squash match, so it's not really fair. I'm not going to be too.
I don't think it's fair. But I think Corey Graves was just like, dude, Corey, do you even watch the fucking show? He's like, well, he's got this guitar that he doesn't play. And I'm like, dude, did you not watch his vignettes? That's all he was doing. He was sitting down in like a dark room, strumming his guitar and playing. He does know how to fucking play it.
But does he know that? He might not watch the shows because he doesn't like listening to his own commentary or something like that. You don't know. Because obviously we saw that, but the question is, did he sit there watching it?
That's a good question. But here's the thing, it's like watch your show, know what you're, if he's coming. I mean, you got to know something. Even if you work for the NFL, you got to know who the Heisman Trophy winner is. And, kind of be familiar with their background. So, I mean, why not watch this? You got a new guy coming up and they've got this vignette. Here's his motivation, which they kind of referenced. It's just, he does play the guitar. He can play it because he did it twice, 2 different promos. And then I like the crack of all. I talked to other real drifters. They never heard of the guy, never seen the guy. Yeah, because they're fucking drifters, Corey. They go into town and they leave just as soon as they come. That's why they've never heard or never seen of them, because that's like saying, I drive like to work every day. I don't know everybody I fucking pass on the fucking road. Come on, Corey. I mean, you're just being a heel. I mean, he's like really stretching that heel commentary for everything it's worth. All right. And by the way, I want to thank everybody on here for giving us live comments. I am going to get to them. I promise you. Let's just, we're going to get through with the main event, then we're going to hit it up. So Andy Pabs, Franielli, Brandon Matthews, Ray Mastani, Crazy J Ray, we're gonna get you guys in just a little bit, so please be patient. Get your questions and comments ready. Then we get to the main event here, which I think was pretty good. Well, hell, went pretty good. It was fantastic. It was Bayley versus Carmella for the NXT Women's Championship. Bayley getting the win here, but I will say this, sir. Fact or fiction, Carmella just wrestled her best match to date.
That's a fact. I was very, very, very impressed. It's very rare that I take to Snapchat for spots. Like, if there's a spot in the match that I really like, I'll put it on the Snapchat so I can remember it. And I remember I was there and I saw this, like, she was there, like, bouncing up and down, thinking, are you going to fucking do a dive? Are you going to do a dive there, Miss Carmella? And if you are, I'm going to love you forever. She goes and hits one of the most beautiful planches I've ever seen in my life. It really was a nice one. And the best part was when she landed after the first suicide dive from the second and third one, you saw Bayley tap her shoulder. Like, legit, if you rewatch it, because I rewatched it a few times on the Snapchat itself, she taps her on the shoulder, like, good job, you've done it. And I think what it was is, what made it more special is you could see she was scared to do it. Like, you could generally see she was petrified to doing it. She bounced up and down, the crowd got behind her, and she did it. And then she did it again under the first and second one. Really, really great effort, and everything was crisp, everything was fluent. I was thoroughly impressed with Carmella, newfound respect for Carmella. She can now move from the whore to professional wrestler. So very good job, Carmella. If you take anything from this show, ladies and gentlemen, Carmella has just turned into a professional wrestler instead of being a whore. So good job, Carmella. Give yourself, as Coco would say, a Barry Horowitz.
Definitely. I think that Bronco Buster combo into that leg submission that she does, I think that was great. And not to take anything away from Bayley, I think when she popped up and hit that clothesline out of nowhere, I think that was a good spot. Of course, I like the combination of pinning combinations they were going to at the end. It looked like both ladies had a chance, and it was just Bayley was just on that night just that much better. They didn't go for the cheesy interference. They didn't go for, okay, we're going to turn somebody heel. They were friends when they went into that match. They had a great match. They had a competitive match. Bayley just happened to get the win that night, and they stayed friends. So props to NXT for those little bitty things like that. I mean, that's just a huge difference, and I want to just say thank you for doing that. Afterwards, Carmella was leaving the ring. She was ambushed by Ava Marie and Nia Jax. Bayley went there to make the save. She got leveled. Both Ava Marie and Nia Jax took Carmella to the ring, slammed her around, dropped the leg on her. Bayley was still out on the outside. Asuka came in, had a stare down with Nia Jax. Ava Marie backed Nia Jax down. Then Bayley managed to get consciousness to go in to go help Carmella. That's when Asuka turned around and started staring at the belt and kind of stroking the belt. And I think we've got our new feud coming up for Mania, baby. Bayley versus Asuka. Oh dear God. You know what? I'm gonna have to shut the webcam off here for a second and go get some lotion because my elbows are chapped, and I should take care of that because I'm thinking about Asuka and Bayley. Okay, I ran that joke into the ground. All right, but I just think that was such a great. I mean, I love the storytelling with this. I mean. There was a reason for Ava Marie to do it because she would have won the Battle Royal, but nope. Carmella's the one who dumped her out. Nia Jax has been her muscle, so that makes sense. It was more so about attacking Carmella rather than Bayley. She just happened to be there. Asuka went out and made the save because she wants to be the biggest bully on the block, and then she kind of made her intentions known that hey, I'd like a shot at that championship. And wow, and I guess I need to mention it now, but looks like Carmella's going to get called up with Enzo and Cass at the main roster sooner rather than later, so look for them to pop up after Mania. And then Bayley may get called up a little bit later this year, so it's pretty crazy right now in the women's division.
Yeah, if Carmella wrestles like she did tonight on the main roster, I'd have no issue with her at all. Really, I'd have no issue with her at all. But the division in NXT, as you were saying, excuse me, is really thriving right now. I mean, you got my girl Alexa Bliss, my future wife. You got Carmella, really good worker at the moment. Bayley, incredible. Nia Jax, you got the monster in there to make all divisions like top notch. You have to have that monster. You got Bayley, Asuka. That's a decent damn roster you got there of women, and I respect that a lot. And this when we saw the Charlottes, the Banks, and the Lynch leave NXT. I mean, I think I was on the show at that time, but we were talking about how. The complex of the divisions changed completely. It's really, it's not the best of times to be an NXT Diva or NXT Women's Wrestler, sorry. But they've really stepped it up. Right now, they've all picked it up. And we've seen the next crop grow. The Emmas, the Yorgo Emma, with her cooking show. You want to give her a plug for her cooking show?
Man,
it wouldn't be...
Oh, man, I love, I'm telling you, if you're on YouTube, check out Taste of Tennille. She does some, she has some actually healthy recipes. So if you're trying to, watch your waistline, but you still want something pretty, decent to eat, I made a couple of her recipes and they're actually pretty good. So they're worth checking out. Now, the latest edition, I know I'm going way too far into this more than what LK wanted. She actually had a surprise where she wanted to bake a cake for a mystery guest. This was took place around the time of the Royal Rumble. So she baked a cake from scratch. And I'm not going to say who she gave the cake to, but it's somebody that the internet likes. And it's not Zack Ryder, because I know that question is going to come up. Oh, they were dating. No. She made it for a friend, gave it to him at the Royal Rumble backstage. So, and hey, it looked pretty tasty at least from my perspective. So there you go. It was a yellow cake with homemade yellow cake with chocolate icing and bacon.
Bacon? Did you just say?
Yes, she added bacon to it. Not like in it, but like she incorporated bacon as like a topping to it. It's really cool how she does it. So it's worth checking out. And this is okay. This is why we're fat in America. There's actually a donut shop just up the road from my house. It's called Sugar Shack, if anybody's interested. And I walked in there because it was brand new. They just opened this location, and they was like, "Oh yeah, try these donuts." I mean, these donuts were freaking huge. And they said, "Well, one of our most popular is the maple bacon." And I was like, it was like this donut with maple glaze and a little strip of bacon on it. And I'm like, bacon on a donut? What is it? They're like, no, just trust us. And I'm like, okay, I will take this journey with you. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. Yes. Oh, God, this is amazing. Yes, so that's why we're fat in America, because we find ways to incorporate bacon onto everything. Why? Because bacon tastes like freedom.
Bacon is good. Nothing beats a bacon sandwich in the morning. But, bro, bacon on a donut, that's...
I know. I was like you. I was skeptical. And I was like, and finally I just took that chance. I closed my eyes, took a bite, and said, this is amazing.
They're skeptical, then they're thinking you're insane, Booms, and I think you're borderline insanity right now, and I might clock you into a hostel home, because that's very I don't know. I went to Florida. I didn't see any of those donuts. I tried not to go in those kind of shops, but with America, when I was there anyway, I thought that, when I was going there, I was expecting everyone to be fat. Like, oh, you're gonna be fat. They're just gonna be fat, but they're actually not. The differences between England and America is when they are fat in America, fuck me, they are fat. Like, there's a difference, and so people, come to the assumption, and it's, hypocritical, but everyone says that stereotypical story that Americans are fat. I think that's a lie. I don't think all Americans are fat.
You must have went to South Florida.
Yeah, Orlando. I was at Orlando.
Oh yeah, that's South Florida. Yeah, they're beautiful people down there.
There were some very attractive females, I must say myself.
All right. Well, you ready to do questions and comments?
Why not?
All right. Brace yourselves, and here we go. Buckle up, because here we go. I'm just only going to do questions and comments. Ava Marie, no selling like a champ. That's from Brandon Matthews. Andy Paps gives the show a weak tie. He says it feels like WWE is watering down NXT. I don't think they're watering it down. I just think, this was a house show that they recorded over at UCF, and I think this was only like the first hour. I think they did several hours of television there. So I think that's just, they went ahead and got a lot of the stuff out of the way. So we're going to see a little bit more stuff. Fran Yelly wants to know, Booms, did Dave put you on timeout for the Sunny review? No, he did not. I did not get in trouble. That's the funny thing. Okay.
I was so shocked. Dude, I was like, holy, I was literally just like, I caught it, because I know you did one live where it was like XXX Sonny, the backside or some gimmick, and I saw it was deleted. I thought, oh shit, have we got a copyright strike? I was like, Coco, Boom's still a poor, what the fuck? And I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, shit. And then I saw you started up again and did another live one. I'm thinking, okay, fingers crossed we don't have a fucking suspension on our hands here.
No, it was because the first one I didn't have any sound to it. I don't know why. My microphone messed up, but I got it working, and I went ahead and just redid it. See, everybody, talked about it, and then finally, through internet magic, I found it, and I was like, oh, this is bad. I mean, no, this is really bad. So I decided to do a video, and I did, instead of just like, doing something like straight up, I just wanted to put as much humor into it and go over the top and exaggerate it. Because believe me, if you haven't seen it, you don't need to. I mean, for me to review it, I mean, it's like falling on a fucking hand grenade. I just saved the entire internet infantry, with that review. It's like, the way I described it pretty much sums it up. And see, some people were like, oh, I can't believe this. And then other people were like, oh, boom, boom. Yeah, that's funny. Classic Booms. Then as soon as I go off the air, like 100 people, oh, Dave, did you see what Boom Boom did? Dave, did you see what Boom Boom did? Dave, did you see what Boom Boom did? I'm like, what the fuck?
Are we crow? I did say that too, because I was worried, like, the copyright strike gimmick, because I saw you did one, it got deleted, so I thought, oh fuck, there's a copyright strike, and you did it again. I didn't realize the no bit, but I was just like, what the fuck, Booms? You can even check on the Gmail gimmick. I was like, Booms just did a fucking porn review. Coco's like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's Booms. But the line of the night was, it's amateur at best. What's the best? cracked me up. It's amateur.
There was some people like it when I said, "Well, no, you're not going to need like tissues. You're not going to need a towel. You're not going to need a sock. You're going to." I just held up a big old bottle of Clorox bleach and was like, "Yeah, this is what you're going to need," and pour that directly into your eyes. Oh, by the way, please don't do that. Really, oh no, I have to say that because legally there's gonna be some. Well, I have my bone up said I had to pour that directly in my eyes. I don't know why it burned like hell. Now I can't see shit.
That's why we don't use real names, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we don't use real names.
All right. Ray Mastani says, "I'll give NXT a loss today, sadly." Okay. Crazy J Ray. He said he tried to watch Sonny's movie until he almost went blind. Yeah, believe me, it doesn't get any better. Ray Mastani, the best part is when Asuka stared at Bayley. I'll agree with that. I think, I like the anticipation of a new match. I think they're going to have maybe like a tag feud with, they'll have Asuka and Bayley team up to take on Ava Marie and Nia Jax, just kind of give them something to do till they get to the takeover before Mania. So I think that's what they'll do. They'll kill some time with that.
Probably right.
Crazy J Ray again said watching Sunny was like watching a granny adult film.
Oh, always porn. I wish you didn't bring that porn up, Booms. It's always porn.
No, this was brought up well before we did here, but because apparently that's what I'm forever fucking branded with now. It's like trying to have some fun, Oh, sure. Nobody else had the balls to do that. Apparently, I'm the only one crazy enough to do that.
Oh, you're the only one moronic enough to watch it. I ain't watching that for shit.
Ray Mastani wants to know, when did the Attitude Era end? I think the Attitude Era officially ended when WCW went out of business.
Yeah, me too. That's when the early, when the draft. In my opinion, I'd say the draft when in the April or May of 2002 when they introduced the draft. That's when it properly ended, because the invasion angle that was still kind of edgy, and then that Mania was a bit. Yeah, I liked the transition though. I liked 2002, 2003, 2004. They're probably three of my favorite years. It was just great work as Benoit, Angle, Jericho in his prime, Van Dam, H in his prime, Michaels came back. You had Goldberg's monstrous run. You had Brock Lesnar in his prime. There's just lots of good stuff from 02, 03, 04. So if you're on the network, that's what I'd recommend watching.
Yeah, Ray also wants to know what was the best feud in the Ruthless Aggression era?
Angle, Benoit.
I'm actually going to say Angle Lesnar is what I'm going to say.
I'm Angle Benoit all day. I could just. It's absolutely insanity. I mean, I could name you. Mania 17. That match was absolutely incredible. Royal Rumble 2003, absolutely incredible. Unforgiven 2002, absolutely incredible. When they did that thing where they won the tag titles in late 2002, unbelievable stuff. Two of the best workers of all time. Benoit, the human being, not really keen on. Benoit, the professional wrestler, is one of the greatest professional wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots, and it sickens me he's not in the Hall of Fame. But I understand why he's not, so I'm not going to make a fuss about it.
Booms and OK, when do you think WWE should have turned Cena heel? I think they should have turned him heel. I think right when the fans really turned on him. I'm talking about like that second title run after it was after the Mania. I think it was 21 where he won it, and it wasn't long after that. The fans really, just really turned on him. I think they should have turned him right then and there. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, they should do lots of things, but they don't.
Do you like heel Angle or funny Kurt Angle?
Oh, heel Angle. I'm not a fan of my funny stuff.
The funny stuff had its moment, but I like the one where he was like the intense good guy. He was screaming for the title unification match against John Cena, and he would drop the straps, and then he would put the straps back on just to drop them again and go for the ankle lock. Yeah, that was my favorite Kurt Angle. How should they have booked the NWO and the WWE?
Oh, fuck it.
That's a good question.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Well, I would say that the way they did it, because they had it down to the nitty-gritty. They had it down to the three main players. They had it down to Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash the way it should have been. I think they missed an opportunity by trying to, have X-Pac, go, be on the fence because he was in both factions, and you could have had DX and NWO kind of make a play for him, and he's kind of torn which way does he go. He's got friends on both sides. I think that's something they left on the table. I think the only problem they had was with Scott Hall. Man, he had too much substance abuse problems, and he washed out not long after that in 2002. I think that just kind of led to the whole thing crumbling, and plus when they started throwing Booker T in, just because, well, even they said like, well, fuck it, why not? I think that's when they did. I think they should have kept them out and just had them be like a trios team. Did you like Kali's debut in WWE? No, never did, never will. Should Sunny be categorized as a BBW? Oh, I know what that means. A big-bodied woman.
See, England, that's different. That's big busty wife or big busty woman in England. See, look, you're learning. So it's such an educational podcast or broadcast. I call it. It's so educational, cultural as well. Incredible.
Yeah, I would. Should Shane be in the Hall of Fame?
Who?
Shane McMahon. Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
He should fucking come back and save the company. They're not being in the Hall of Fame.
Great. Let's see. I'm looking for questions. What did you think of the Trish and Vince storyline in 2000?
Dirty.
Yeah, it was dirty. It was edgy. It wouldn't fly by today's standards.
Dude, but
at the time, man. I mean, hell, I think in 2000. I think I might have been. I think I was right around 18 when that was going on. So believe me, I love that shit then.
Dude, I was 5 years old watching a 60-plus-year-old man make out with this absolute fucking insanely hot chick. I felt like, what the fuck? So every time I saw my granddad, I'm like, is he secretly like making out with like this 20-plus-year-old? Oh no, that's disgusting. No, moving on.
All right. Ray wants us to book the main event of Fastlane. I keep the three-way, but I'm gonna say it. I would have Lesnar go over. Triple H Lesnar. I guarantee you that sells out. That would sell out. The
Stadium. Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, Dallas, Texas. I'm trying to think. The nickname for it is Jerry World in the States because Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, built like this $1 billion+ stadium there, state of the art. The Cowboy Stadium. So I'm trying to avoid. I want to call that its proper name, Cowboy Stadium, rather than Jerry World, which is kind of the nickname for it. So, but why? Again, because you want to sell that out, and I think Lesnar. I mean, if you got the belt on Triple H right now, anyway, and I think Brock Lesnar's got that drawing power, I would go ahead and do it. But if not, then I think it needs to be Dean Ambrose. I want to see Dean Ambrose capture the title before the year's over with.
Yeah, me too. But the issue I have with this is they cannot have Reigns win this because they've set him up to fail. If Reigns beats Dean Ambrose, he's going to get booed out the building at Fastlane. If Reigns pins Brock Lesnar, he's going to get booed out the building at Fastlane because Ambrose and Lesnar are the two top babyfaces in the company fan-wise. So if they want Reigns to be the top babyface, they cannot have Reigns win that match. I don't unless they turn him heel, but then Triple H is a heel. It doesn't make sense. They need to keep. They've set him up to fail. They've set him up to fail no matter what. Unless they have. Unless Coco came up with this idea on the show. In case you didn't watch the PWME news that me and Coco did, is having Reigns pin Ambrose. He's going to get booed, but then have Stephanie come out and say, "Hey, look, we're booing you." Then Reigns Superman punching Stephanie to get cheered. But I don't think they'll do that, and it is worrying to me.
There's a way you could get him to do that. You could have him go to Superman punch Triple H, but Triple H ducks out of the way, and Stephanie just happened to be standing behind him, so it's not like intentional, but he still clocks her.
Yeah, that's true.
You kind of get that. You kind of get that out. It's like, yeah, you cheer because you're not feeling sorry for Stephanie, but you also see that the good guy wasn't intentionally trying to punch a woman in the face.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have to do that. They should have the guy wins, he goes on to Mania, not have to book out of yourself like that. Mm-hmm. And it's really concerning. They've booked it really, really poorly, really, really poorly. And I can honestly see Ambrose getting the win here and then Reigns feuding with someone else at Mania. I don't know who. I mean, Taker's not doing anything at the moment. to just Taker could put Reigns over. I mean, AJ's not doing anything at the moment. Kevin Owens isn't doing anything at the moment. Save Reigns. Unless you turn him heel, save Reigns. Don't put him in that Mania spot because you've set him up to fail. The crowd are going to boo him out of the building no matter who he pins. Poor booking. Poor.
All right. Ray Mustani asks again, do you think we will see Daniel Bryan wrestle again? I know that Coco and LK's talked a lot about this, so I'll just weigh in real quickly on it. I was like you. I was thinking, okay, maybe this is an elaborate plot by Daniel Bryan to get, because he couldn't quit. They wouldn't let him quit his job, so I figured he's going to retire so they could, kick in his contract right there and he could ride it out and then wrestle somewhere else. But after hearing him say that he took another test and he didn't do as well, and then when he went on ESPN and admitted to hiding post-concussion seizures, I think he's done. Actually, no, I know he's done. I don't think we'll ever see him wrestle again. Now, does that mean we won't see him again, period? No, absolutely not. I think we'll see him in some capacity. He'll either be a trainer, he'll be an ambassador, he'll be a manager, he'll be like a face authority figure. He's good to go. I mean, he will, he'll handle the Connor's cure. He'll handle all that. He'll be doing something, but as far as actually in the ring, no. And as mad as I was at WWE, I thought they were completely screwing him over for politics and everything. But it's crow I'm going to have to eat is that, had this been the old days, after a lot of the stuff, they would have cleared him. They would have let him wrestle. Then more than likely he either would have took another shot to the head and died, or they would have scrambled his brains, given him like seizures, made him have a stroke. It would have been disastrous had this been the old days. But thank God for technology and the knowledge that we have about concussions and their effects. So I'm glad that happened, and I hate that it happened. I feel like Daniel Bryan was cheated. I feel like life cheated him because he did not get to go out the way that he went out. But I think he can hold his head up high. Oh. He accomplished virtually everything that you could do, almost everything you could do in the WWE. He did a lot of things in a short amount of time that a lot of these, legends that they have on Legends contracts were never able to come close to doing.
That's not a thing he hasn't done. I mean, he won the world title, won the US title, won the IC title, won the tag titles, won Money in the Bank, headlined WrestleMania. What more do you want? That's a career. That's a Hall of Fame career. That's a Hall of Fame career.
Absolutely. Now, as far as seeing him in the Hall of Fame, and I know that question has been asked, but I'll go ahead and kind of answer that. I don't want him to go in the Hall of Fame this year, and hear me out. I want Daniel Bryan to go in the Hall of Fame, but I want him to go in next year because I want him to headline. And I feel like if they went ahead and rushed him in now, he would kind of get. It would really either he would overshadow everybody else, or he would kind of get tied up in the mix. Because I'm thinking Undertaker's going in this year.
They got Sting, haven't they? They got Sting. I reckon he'll be the main guy.
So you got that going on, and I just think it would just be kind of a mess. And I feel like to give everything the proper attention, let's just wait one more year, and then we're good to go.
I think they should wait a lot longer. I think that you should wait a lot longer, because if he gets in the Hall of Fame and then wrestles somewhere else, I think it's better to just completely leave it till he's like 45, 50, then chuck him in. Because there's always that worry in the back of my mind. What happens if he goes wrestle somewhere else? He can use the I'm a WWE Hall of Famer to get himself and the company over a lot more.
Yeah, he could do that, or he could wear his ring and wear it and make a porno.
I hope Daniel Bryan doesn't do that for sure. I hope he doesn't do that.
Okay, that's a joke, kids. I don't actually think that. Just relax. Ray Mastani, he asked, I think they made Ambrose look like a chump on Raw with the low blow. I think he's referred to Brock Lesnar. What do you think? I think they should have followed it up. I think he should have low blowed him, and then when they went in and hit dirty deeds on Brock Lesnar and laid him out, because they left it wide open for that. And I feel like that was just an opportunity they missed.
I tell you what, I think they did. That's the only segment that I watched pretty much on Raw, because obviously I didn't watch. I watched obviously the Bryan. I absolutely adore. They made Ambrose look like this crazy, wacky lunatic who can take everything. So that's getting his character over. Also, at the same time, they protected Brock by not having Brock get beaten, because he didn't get beaten. He only got low blowed, a cheap shot from behind. So you're protecting Brock, which is your money man, the business, the box office attraction. Reigns, they had to get Reigns out there because Vince has a fetish and a thing for him, but that's understandable. I think that was one of the best segments I've seen in a long time. They protected Dean Ambrose, they protected Brock Lesnar. Reigns was protected because he didn't cut a promo, so his weakness was hid. I think that was an all-round top segment, and I'm not going to complain about it at all.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What if WCW won the Monday Night Wars? I think wrestling would have been just as bad, if not worse, than what it is right now, because at that point in WCW, it was a bunch of old guys. We're talking Hogan. We're talking Flair. We're talking who else? Hogan. All those guys were on top. They weren't going to give up their spot. Hall and Nash weren't going to give up their spots. You were going to see the same old guys main eventing. You were going to see the smaller guys completely buried in tons of crap. I mean, WCW in its dying days was freaking just damn near unwatchable. I mean,
I thought 2001 was a massive improvement because it had that youth movement going on, but it was just too little, too late.
Mm-hmm. How would you book the ECW versus Raw storyline in 2005? I wouldn't have changed a thing. I think that was great.
Yeah, me too. I loved it.
Push Barry Fire. EC3, Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose? Okay. Ugh, that sucks. I push Ambrose, Barry Rollins, and I fire EC3. I'm not happy with that, but that's the options you gave me.
I'm pushing Rollins, burying EC3, firing Ambrose. Oh, shit. Next. Oh, that was tough.
Let's see.
Speaking of seizures, Coco just had a seizure listening to us say we're going to bury EC3 and fire the guy.
Yeah,
poor Coco.
Somewhere, Dave Coco just like fell out and just started shaking, convulsing. It's like, I don't know what's going on.
These two aren't staff members on my sites. I don't know them.
Ramastani asked, do you think NXT would be better in a 2-hour format? To be honest, no. I think 1 hour is perfect. They've done well with that formula. They've found a good balance for that. You gave the audience just enough to digest. You leave us wanting more. I don't think they should go live right now. I'm very happy with what they're doing.
Yeah,
now, if I was going to make one change to NXT, I would introduce a secondary title. I would introduce something like a cruiserweight title or junior weight title, just something else to have some of the other guys feud over. Because right now you've only got 3 titles, and I think like another secondary title, at least for the men, would really help out and get some more exposure for some more people and improve their takeover events. Let's see. No, I'm not reading that. Let's see here. Andy Paps, I'm sorry, I had to laugh. I came up with a new name for TNA. Canceled. Did you like the WWE draft in 2002? Yeah, I liked it when it initially started. Actually, no. I did like the draft itself, and I liked the whole show around it, but I thought the whole idea of separating the brands was fucking stupid.
Dude, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I mean, 06, I was praised because they did the exclusive pay-per-views that year. I remember precisely. There were so many people over. And like you just say, for instance, you weren't a fan of Raw, the storyline driven, you were just a fan of the sport. You could watch SmackDown and not watch Raw at all, and you'd be fine. Like, you don't have to watch Raw. So I hate Raw. I hate the storylines. I hate the bullshit. I hate the women coming out in bikinis for some particular reason. And I was just a fan of the SmackDown, the sports, the Benoits, the angles, the edges. I could watch SmackDown and fuck everything else. That's my watching of the week. That's what I liked about it.
Okay, let's see. What was the worst feud in the Ruthless Aggression era? That's easy. Scott Steiner versus Test.
Oh, dude, Scott Steiner Triple H was pretty bad as well. Scott Steiner. What an awful. I don't know, the Goldberg Lesnar, that had potential. I don't know. That's kind of difficult. There was quite a few bad ones.
Which brand did you like more in the Ruthless Aggression era, Raw or SmackDown?
SmackDown through and through. I bled blue.
I was more of a Raw guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, Angle, Benoit, Edge, Lesnar. Dude. Raw, H, Goldberg, Michaels, Jericho, Van Dam. What a roster. What a fucking roster that was. If they didn't do the brand split, imagine some of the matches you could have had. Goldberg versus Lesnar in their prime. You know, you could have had Kurt Angle versus Triple H again in their prime. Oh, you could have gone on and on. But I think it helped create stars. I think it really helped Orton, Batista, and Cena because of the brand split. They could trust them.
Let's see. How should WWE book the Balor Club? I would say bring him in. Like, I'd keep Finn Balor a face the whole time he's on NXT, but if I'm going to turn him heel, I'll do it after he debuts on the main roster. He'll just bring in Gallows and Anderson with him, and they'll just do basically like we're just gonna we're gonna take over. We're the new guys. This is our house now. We're taking over. We're the bullies. That's how I would do it.
I agree.
Let's see. How would you have booked the Ruthless Aggression era differently? I probably wouldn't have. The Ruthless Aggression era really wasn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. It wasn't until after Eddie died, I wouldn't have milked Eddie Guerrero's death like they did.
That was dirty.
Yeah, that was horrible. That's one thing I would definitely change. I would have done. I mean, yeah, you acknowledge it and maybe use it in the storyline, but I would not have done it like the exploitation like they did. I never would have put the belt on Rey Mysterio. Never would have done that. I never would have wasted a Royal Rumble win and a WrestleMania main event on that. Also, the Benoit thing, God, man, there's no way you could know that was going to happen, and a lot of changes happened because of that. But I just wish there was just something that they could have caught that earlier. Let's see, why did Heidenreich not work with Paul Heyman?
Because he's Heidenreich. Enough said.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, Heidenreich's still alive, right? I hope I didn't just disrespect it.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Oh, thank fuck. Thank the Lord.
Jeez. This question's for you. This question is definitely for you, okay? How would you have booked Kane better in the Attitude Era?
Dude, he was booked perfectly. He was a fucking monster. Like, did you watch he was a monster. His debut was incredible. His stuff with Taker was incredible. His stuff when he tagged with Foley was incredible. 1999 was a pretty slumpy year for Kane. I'll be honest, 99 was a pretty slumpy year for Kane. But apart from that, they booked him really well. You will not hear me complain about bookings from 98 to 2003. You will not hear one complaint from booking from me because that was top-notch booking.
Okay. What is your favorite tag team outside of WWE right now? For me, it's Red Dragon.
That's a good shout. Oh, that's a tough one. There's so many great teams out there at the moment. Team Tremendous from Evolve I'm really keen on those guys. They've really impressed me on the Triple Shot weekend a few weeks ago. And check out those Evolve reviews if you haven't yet, people. That's 3 hours of content waiting for you.
Let's see. Do you think they should put NXT matches in WrestleMania? No, because they're doing a takeover before Mania. So I wouldn't.
Agreed.
Is Triple H a bully? I think he did a lot of backstage politicking, back in his younger days, but I don't. But he's really pushing. I mean, it's because of him. A lot of the NXT guys are getting pushes now.
I see him as God.
They wouldn't have done that, with Vince McMahon being totally in control of everything.
Yeah, I see H as my main man. He seems like a great guy. Like, if he came down, I'd go for a pint with him. Seems like a decent bloke.
Okay, let's see. Wow.
Triple H is now clearing his schedule on his phone to have a drink with LK at a pub.
There you go. I'm trying to catch up here. Sorry. Oh, shit, man. Everything just jumped ahead here. Sorry if I missed your question or comment here. Hey, Booms and LK, I would like to. This is from TJ Amars. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I would like you to hear your quick thoughts on last week's episode of Lucha Underground. And LK, we wished we could have heard more of you in the Lucha Underground review. Very insightful. I enjoyed it. I like Lucha Underground. I got to watch it right now. I don't have the El Rey network, so I have to find it on the internet.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, Lucha Underground's Coco's baby, so I tend to let him carry the show on that. But yeah, I loved Lucha Underground for last week. I love how it's I can just sit back and relax and just enjoy it. It's a TV show. It's not a wrestling show. We say it every single time, but it is fucking incredible. And I loved last week's episode of Lucha Underground, and I'm gonna watch this week's episode of Lucha Underground today about 5:30 p.m. I'll whack it on when I get home from work and sit back and it's one of the shows I can sit there and watch with my family without being embarrassed.
Yeah, I enjoy Lucha Underground, and I think it's funny how the whole Lucha Underground reviews work here on KocoSports. It's Dave Coco's like, oh, Booms, man, I'm so busy. I got a book coming out, then I have another book coming out, then I got to write 47 more books because my editor wants those out. I run 104 companies all over the world. I'm the boss of like 700 employees. I've got a wife, I've got a mother-in-law, I've got 12 kids. I've got to work at the orphanage, and I got to educate underprivileged children. Then I got to go bottle feed some stray kittens. And I'm so busy. Can you handle the TNA? Can you handle Ring of Honor? Can you handle NXT? Can you handle SmackDown? Can you handle Main Event? But Lucha Underground, you just leave that one alone. I'll take care of that.
I'll sit there. No, I'll sit through that 1 hour show. No problem, Coco. We don't see a conspiracy or anything. No problem. Well, for a week we've got a swap. We'll do Lucha Underground. He can do NXT. We'll swap 1 week. But it'll be a real stinking NXT, like a really poor one. Like this show, it wasn't the best.
Let's see. Do you like that Bischoff came to WWE in 2003 as general manager of Raw? Yeah, because I was shocked. I never thought that would ever happen. So yeah, I like that. That was a huge shock, and I think he did a pretty good job at the time. Johnny Oliveira. Jesus Christ, I cannot fucking talk tonight. He says, how about a NXT television title? I kind of like that. Technically they don't have TV, they have internet, but yeah, I like the concept. Hell, why not? Let's see, Ray Mastani, did you like bra and panties matches? Depends on who was in them, but when that was going on in the Attitude Era, I was a teenager, so yes, I did.
I would have been like 10, 10, 8, 9. I don't know what I would have liked, but I guess so. But back as a kid, I'm
really old.
No, I think when I was that age, I think I used to I'll be honest, skip the women stuff. I used to think that men were superior for women, as all children do. Like, I get, just skip. I don't like talking about sexism stuff like that. Not on the show.
What was the worst feud in the Attitude Era? Ooh, that's a tough one. Worst in attitude. I'm like really digging here. Shit. I'm going to get back to you on that one. I can't. There's nothing that really jumps out at me. Just like, oh my god, that was the worst fucking thing.
Dude. When they did the NWA invasion gimmick, where they had the Rock and Roll Express, Bradshaw, Jeff Jarrett. Oh my god, that was bad. That was atrocious. That was insulting to every good wrestling show that was on. Oh, that was bad.
And then they brought in this was just before the height of the Attitude Era. Let's see, favorite non-wrestler in WWE. Ooh,
don't have one.
Probably Renee Young, I guess.
Oh, you mean like an announcer person?
Yeah, non-wrestler.
Okay, cool. I like the NXT ring announcer for tonight's show. The guy, fucking top drawer. When it went at the takeover in London, he came. Well, he didn't come literally, but he when he was in the ring, he was sorry, this porn talk. He was in the ring and he did like the introductions, and before the show, like he generally got everyone on their feet and clapping. He did a fucking great job. Really did a good job. And I liked his shoes. That's a bit random. I love his brown shoes. They match well with the suit. Good job. Good job.
What did you think of JBL and SmackDown? I didn't like him as champion.
I didn't like him as champion, but in 06 and 07, when he moved to the commentary desk, I think he did a fucking phenomenal job.
Yeah,
I on it rewatched some of that stuff. The one line I'll always remember, okay? You ready for this? This is a chance to dance, the lights are brighter. Michael, it doesn't get brighter than this at WrestleMania. I'll remember that line to the day I die. Absolute cracking stuff.
Okay. What did you think of the Crime Time place? I think he's referring to just Crime Time. It just didn't work. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, it's that's so racist. Okay, so imagine this: you're in creative meeting, and Vince goes, "We're gonna make 2 black people dress up like thugs, yeah, smash things up, spray paint things, do illegal stuff, run away from police, and we're gonna make them black." Like, that's the most racist thing I've ever seen in my life. That's awful.
Did you like Eddie as a heel or a face? I liked him as a face. I liked him when he was lying, cheating, stealing as a face.
Yeah, me too.
Do you like how they booked Kane in the Ruthless Aggression era?
I love how they booked Kane up until 2007. Then he became a joke.
Okay. Sorry, I am trying to catch up here. When I catch up, more comments come, so I lose my place here. All right, we're going to go through the speed round here. Do you think Speedball Mikey Bayley could make it in WWE or Lucha Underground? I don't know who that is. So
Lucha Underground, yes. WWE, no, he's not in a physical condition enough to hold there. In all due respect, unless he starts hitting the gym, it's just no.
Okay. Do you like how Evolution turned on Orton? I thought it was okay. Right. Let's see. Should Chyna be in the WWE Hall of Fame? No.
Yes.
Not right now.
Why?
Is she still on drugs?
No, she's clean.
If she stays
clean, dude, she's been clean for like a year plus now.
Ooh, a fucking year, you know.
Dude, when you're a drug addict, that's fucking great.
Yeah, I know that's great, but shit, Jake Roberts, I mean, how long was he clean before they finally put him in?
About a year, if that. Watch the documentary. Dude, I promise you,
he was clean longer than that.
Dude, he was clean for about a year. Go watch the documentary. I've even done a fucking review of the documentary a few weeks ago. It was about a year, because at a year point, he was at the Raw old school, and then he was in the Hall of Fame. I promise you it was a year. If that.
All right. What is your favorite tag team finisher of all time in any company? For me, it's Total Elimination by the Eliminators.
Well, that's a good shout. I was a fan of Doomsday Device from LOD. I like that finisher.
How can TNA revive itself? Fire Dixie Carter.
I'm doing a show on that. That's going to go on because Coco always has a Stump the Idiot list. I'm going to have a Stump the Idiot list. So how would I save TNA wrestling? Okay, well, cool. I've saved.
All right. Goldberg or Lesnar in their prime? Lesnar.
That's tough, though, because Goldberg was a fucking good draw back in late 90s. Goldberg was a draw. But in ring-wise, though, I'd say Lesnar.
Okay, I'm going to skip a lot of these because I'm starting to get into stuff. What did you think of the Basham brothers?
Waste of space.
Yeah, I think they got fucked over, but yeah.
They were just twins. They didn't do anything. Name me their finisher. Name me a move they do. Like, you don't remember them past tomorrow.
They were I looked at when they were part of JBL's cabinet. I mean, I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was good, but their stuff was boring in the ring. It was really dull.
All right. I think that's going to do it. If we missed yours, I apologize. My Facebook is acting a little wonky here, so I'm going to go ahead and do some shameless self-promotion. I'll tell everybody to check us out at prowrestling.me. It's the Pro Wrest Pub for professional wrestling fans. We've got news, gossip on there. We've even got forums and blogs. It's written by you, the fans. They're all positively 100% uncensored, so you can, whatever you're thinking, if you want to write a commentary on the wrestling scene today or a particular topic or a particular wrestler, you're more than welcome to write that there. You can sign up there. It's absolutely free. And also check us out at KocoSports.com, KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate wrestling fan. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So thumbs up us, like, and subscribe. We've got plenty of stuff coming out. LK just wrapped up a show. He did a news show. He talked about the Titus O'Neil situation. Let's see, CM Punk, he's going to be out. His UFC debut is going to be delayed because of a back injury. Just all kinds of crazy stuff going on. We've got, as we mentioned on here earlier, we've got a Lucha Underground review coming up. LK and I are going to make an effort to review Ring of Honor. We're going to try to review SmackDown, main event, and of course we'll start it all over again on Monday with our Monday Night Raw review. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We try to crank out a show. We try to crank out a show at least once a day. We try.
And then the days if we miss one, like for instance, I tend to make, if I miss a day of shows because of work, I'll try to do 2 or 3 and another day to try and counteract. So that in theory, there's a show a day when you look back at the channel's archives.
Constantly go back there and look, and eventually we do what we call Stump the Idiot. So if we missed your questions, just when you're able to, go down in the comment section, put your question in, and sometimes if it's good enough, we'll dedicate an entire show to it. But we try to make sure to get your comments read. We try to get your questions answered. We try to be as interactive as possible. So thanks for bearing with us. So this is Boom Boom, and for my partner LK, I am over.